Oh, wait a minute. That one's the hat. Okay, it doesn't look like that. Okay, there's the hat. And of course I haven't woven in the ends. And here's the cowl. Oh, wait a minute. But you know, if you live in Alaska or a very, very cold place, this cowl and this hat would keep you very, very warm. There we go. There, how's that? What do you think? Should I write the pattern for it? This literally takes like less than an hour to make. Okay, the materials you will need for this hat is the cozy heathered yarn or any yarn like it. It is a 6 super bulky weight. And I got this from Michael's. It's Loops and Threads, but like I said, you can use any 6 super bulky weight yarn. This particular one is 100% polyester. And as you can see here, the hook that I initially picked out was a 10 millimeter or a P. This is a Furls Odyssey hook. Later you'll see I switched after I felt the yarn and started working with it. I switched to a 15 millimeter crochet hook because the yarn is just so big and I needed a bigger hook. So, you know, a lot of times when you're looking at the label for the yarn, the recommended size maybe isn't always the size of hook that you want to use. And for this project, we are definitely using a bigger size hook. So, let's get started. Yep, you can see I switched. I tried that smaller hook, the 10 millimeter, and it just wasn't feeling right. So here we go. We're going to make a slip knot and then we are going to chain 13. Okay, now we're going to start our chain. If I remember right, I tried to show you what size hook this is. It wasn't focusing, the camera wasn't focusing real well, but it is a 15 millimeter. And also, I slowed this tutorial down a little bit. It's not the normal speed. I slowed it down to 0.7. And normal speed would be 1. So I slowed it down just because I wanted to make sure that you all saw the stitches that I'm doing. So when you have all your chains done, you're going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook, and you're going to half double crochet 6. There's 3. And half double crochet is yarn over, insert hook, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on hook. Whoa, I think I might need to slow this down a little bit more. So once you get finished with the 6 half double crochets, in the next 3 chains we will single crochet. And then in the last 3 chains, we are going to slip stitch. At the end of that last slip stitch, we will chain 1 and turn our project over, or turn our hat over. And next we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only of those first 3 slip stitches. In the next 3 single crochets, we are going to single crochet into the back loop only. And then we are going to half double crochet into the next 4 half double crochets back loop only. And then when we get to the last 2 half double crochets, we are going to half double crochet through both loops. And this makes the bottom of the brim of the hat. I just think it makes it look a little more finished to crochet in both loops. Okay, so when we get to the end of this row, we are going to single crochet, turn our hat, and if you can't tell yet, the top where the smaller stitches are is going to be where the crown of your head is, or the top of the hat, and the bottom is where the brim is. So here we are, half double crocheting in both loops of those first 2 half double crochets from the last row. Next, we are going to half double crochet into the back loop only of each of the next 4 stitches. Now we are going to single crochet back loop only of the next 3 stitches. And then we are going to slip stitch into the back loop only of those last 3 stitches. Okay, chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until our hat is as wide as we want it to be. A size large hat, which is what I wear when I'm making mine, is right around 21 inches from side to side. From the very first round on the bottom where the rim is, where the half double crochet stitches are, all the way till the last end. If it's a smaller head, you'll want to make it less rows. My hat ended up being 17 rows long. And if you're making this hat for yourself, You can wrap it around your head to see if it is the right fit, which is what I usually end up doing. So now we are going to continue crocheting these rows, repeating rows 2 and 3 until it's the right length. I will meet you at the end, but until then, I'm going to leave some nice music for you to crochet to. So we are close to finishing now. We are going to be ending on the half double crochet side, which I recommend, and this is why. As soon as we finish this row, we are going to make sure that the right side is facing the right side of the hat, and we're going to seam up those two sides together. Okay, we're going to chain one and fold our hat right sides together. Here's the chain one. And then we're going to line up the sides and slip stitch them together, matching stitch for stitch as we go up the side. And just slip stitch that together. And notice we're working up the hat from the brim towards the crown of the hat. So once we have the last stitch slip stitched in there and seamed together, you'll notice that we have that beginning thread hanging right up there. And that is because I like to have that up by the brim so that I can use that to tie the other string to. It just makes a good anchor. So I always like to begin and end my hats that are sewn together like this up at the very top. Because that way, if you put a beanie on it or you just want to close it and anchor it, it's all pretty invisible because it's right up there by the crown of the head. Now we're just going to go ahead and snip that yarn, but we're going to leave a pretty long piece. Maybe a foot and a half, so that we have enough to weave through the top. We're going to tie this off, tie off the seam, and then weave this yarn through the top of the hat and then pull it together. I usually go in one row, out the other, in one row, out the other. And you can just see how I do it. There's no exact place that you have to pull it through your hat. I'd say roughly in through one row, out through the other row. So once you get back to the other side, you're going to pull that yarn tight. You're going to cinch that all together around the top of the hat. The way I do it is I just tie that string to that string and pull, like I'm closing the top of a pull string bag, except do it really tight. And then tie it very tight. And you can weave those ends in, or if you are going to put a pom-pom on your hat, you can use those to anchor the pom-pom and then turn it right side out. Voila, your big chunky beanie is finished. Now, if you'd like to make the matching cowl for this, I will be putting up a tutorial very soon. And thank you so much for making this along with me. I hope you love your hat and then it keeps you super duper warm. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And please let me know what you think of this tutorial. And if you like it, please click that like button and have a wonderful day.